When your clients' brands need to stand out, make them brighter with brighter promotions. Named Supplier of the Year, a SAGE A+ supplier, and recognized with numerous industry awards. From fast-turn, single-color imprints to brilliant full-color processing, our dedicated team of more than 45 professionals delivers the wow factor. For larger direct import programs, our own Chinese factories provide global capabilities with the attention to detail, responsiveness, and understanding of your client's needs that only a domestic company can provide. With full product testing and hundreds of thousands of successful orders and reorders, Brighter Promotions delivers fast, dependable, high-quality promotional products. Brighter Promotions, making your clients' brands shine, is our passion.
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Promo Perspectives. My name is Nicole Cook, and I am your host for today. And today I am joined by a familiar face to those of you who listen to our podcast regularly, John Griffin, who is a member of our supplier sales team. John, go ahead and say hello to everybody.
Hello, my name is John Griffin, and I have been at Sage almost 9 years now, which is just crazy to even think about. But I'm a senior account advisor over on the supplier sales team. So if you ever have supplier sales questions, anything supplier wise, just let me know and we can get them answered for you.
Nice. Well, we brought you on to talk about a question that a lot of people have, and kind of like our bread and butter, I feel like, on the supplier side, which is talking about our advertising opportunities. We actually, if anybody isn't familiar, we release a new advertising guide every single year that shows all of the ways that you can get your brand out in front of the people who matter within the Sage ecosystem and beyond. And so I figured who better to talk about that than someone who is living and breathing this all the time. So why don't we start off and just kind of talk quickly about like, what is this advertising release season all about? Like, what are the conversations you guys are having? And we'll start there.
No, absolutely. So this is my realm. This is my life on a daily basis. So it's planning ahead. So planning early, giving suppliers the best chance to secure the premium or the limited type advertising. Sage really offers, a multitude of different things. So it's within the platform the distributors are in, targeting those. It is inboxes, so newsletters. And there's even a short form of end buyer advertising, which is end buyer safe as well. But essentially what it's doing is with the limited amount of spots, there's product exclusive and there's also limited amounts to where you would be the only supplier within that particular advertisement that we're doing. So, planning ahead and, instead of reacting throughout the year, I kind of look at it like going to the gym. You typically go in there with a plan. A lot of the times I live the DFW mentality, where I'm down for whatever. So, but yeah, no, it's important. I know most companies budget, certain times of the year. We do this one release every year, and so it's getting into the like certain to where it aligns with your product launches, your seasonal promotions, and of course adapting to your budget planning. But that's where we come in, knowing how the Sage system works and what's going to be most beneficial for your company.
Yeah. So let's start off with like the time of year, because obviously by the time this releases, it'll be August, and that's kind of around the time that the conversations begin. Like if somebody's listening and thinking that feels super early, why do you guys start the conversations ahead of the actual release in October?
Absolutely. So, Sage does have advertising that is just year to year, it goes, spans. You can, it's more on-demand advertising. So you can just, start and stop it at any point. We do this once a year release because it's going to be the high visibility placements. And there's particular priority type items that suppliers are wanting. So when we are having these conversations, and this is actually perfect timing because we'll be getting our 2027 media kit here in the next, few
Mhm.
weeks. And what it's doing is that it's giving us, as the supplier reps, time to go through there and, you know, reach out to our suppliers in an effective manner. When it comes down to it, every supplier is going to have a different goal. So are they wanting to increase brand awareness? Why other distributor engagement, to promote a specific product line is a big one.
Mhm.
So just that, the current, we're going through the current activity and statistics. So that's the importance of meeting with your Sage rep, is because um, we're going through budgets. We're going through the limited spaces that are coming up, the new things that are coming up. So every year, Sage has a particular advertisement that a few different advertisements that are different themes. So they're really adapting to the suppliers of, March, of course, I'm Irish, so
Yep.
St. Patrick's Day. So, people that are wanting to push that and pre-planning, for that particular realm of products. But it just goes, year round, and we do this one release a year. So it's planning almost a year in advance, to where
Yeah.
if Q4 is your, busiest time of the year, we're looking at specific advertisements for that time, for the long-term growth goals. So
Yeah. So kind of pulling on what you're saying there too is you guys aren't just going to everybody and saying you're all doing the same type of ads. Like you're really sitting down and having conversations about the business goals and like what their budget is and kind of walking them through that. Like, can you kind of talk a little bit more about how are you deciding which advertising to offer or to, talk to people about?
yeah, so that's exactly, so what I do with my suppliers is, I'm reaching out, I'm doing the research prior. So I know, especially if I've been working with them for, a large amount of time, a long amount of time, short amount of time. I already know kind of their goals, but what it's doing is it's reassuring that, like, hey, are we still in a line with those same goals? Are we releasing any new products? So um, getting ready for the new year, because of course as suppliers are,
Mhm.
consistently releasing new things. So that's what it is. It's doing the back end, customization type work, and then coming out with what's going to best fit that supplier's goals for this next year.
Yeah.
um, from there, as a supplier account advisor, knowing how the Sage system works, is that's when we're coming there saying, here's the different new released items or current items. Here's the new themes. Here's what we're doing. Here's what I recommend. And then it's more of just a natural conversation after that. So
Hmm.
we're going through and saying, here's what I would recommend. We're changing it up as needed. So do we need to
Right.
raise the budget, lower the budget? And it's really customizing it per supplier. So that's the importance of making the time, just to get on there, speak with your Sage account advisor,
Hmm.
and get the long-term growth goals for that supplier particularly. So
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think it speaks to kind of just the integrity with advertising with Sage too, that you're not just trying to push everything on everybody. It really is like a lot of time goes into making sure that it actually makes sense for them and it's gonna, you know, accomplish what they're hoping to accomplish.
yep, absolutely. And like, yeah, you might have that used car salesman mentality where people are just trying to like sell you stuff.
Hmm.
What I particularly do is I come in from more of a consultative role. So what I'm doing is looking at the gaps that need to be filled. I'm going through knowing the customers that I work with. I'm going through individually and being a problem solver. So for instance, if
Hmm.
you're seeing particular items with the profile, the advertising, the anything to that extent, it's saying, okay, here's what, here's pieces A, B, and C. B is missing, but here's how we can, accommodate that to where everything's rolling fluidly for you guys. to where you're going to see the most potential growth.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, are there any specific opportunities that like particularly excite you or anything that you feel like really sells out quick so people need to hop on it fast? Like what are some of the standout opportunities in your opinion?
Absolutely. So anything themed, I think, in our system, I think is
Hmm.
just incredible opportunity because it's going to be particular to what you're selling. Uh,
Hmm.
and the beauty in that is essentially like if you're a made in the USA company, then we'll have some form of themed product for that. So since it's limited, the urgency is there, for the suppliers signing up for it. So, October 13th, when we're releasing the new activity, the game plan's already set. That day is just reserving the spots through a proposal, certain things like
Yeah.
that. It's the importance of just constantly staying on that, analyzing the best we can from our side. And then, of course, there's going to be a lot of tracking on the supplier side as well when it comes down to, um, like I think about it like a company like Coca-Cola, and
Mm.
throwing up that billboard sign, down Highway 35, and how they're addressing the return based on that. Whether it's doing a scale, a radius scale within that distance for that particular month they're running it. There's just so many things to take into consideration. So as an account advisor, going through and just making sure that everything's aligned to where it needs to be, to where it's kind of just connecting all those dots.
Yeah.
And going back to the consultative part of it, it's kind of like we're an extended hand of the suppliers we work with, of their marketing team. That's how I personally look at it when I'm working with my suppliers is what's going to make I'm working with this company as a part of the company, so
Mhm.
what's going to make it successful? And I think that's where the consultative side of it, comes into play.
Yeah.
It's a very big part of it.
Well, is there anything else that we haven't covered already that you wanted to really like highlight to anybody who's listening to this, maybe hasn't advertised with us before, or they have opportunity to expand? Anything else that you wanted to touch on?
Yeah, so just to kind of go through a couple additional type things. It's things to keep in mind. So like trends. So suppliers are investing
Mm.
more in digital visibility. Brand recognition has become just as important as individual product promotion. So it's really highlighting the premium retail inspired type products, the trending products. Sustainability continues to be an important purchasing factor. So it's just knowing those trends in general.
Mhm.
Um, and that's a good point. I mean, you're going to have so many different social media avenues. You're going to have all these different things, but with Sage particularly, reach out to your account advisor. Just set up an account review. Ask these particular questions. These are just great questions that we all love. We all love to get because it's helping us being able to compose
Mm.
all that information. Um, and then just kind of when it comes down to the 2027 advertising guide, when that comes out, you're going to start hearing from your account advisors. You can always reach out to them as well. If you don't know who they are, reach out to me. My name's John Griffin. Email john.griffin@sageworld.com, and I'll get you in the right hands wherever you need to be.
Mhm.
Uh, but yeah, so essentially what we'll do is kind of go through the planning tips, the best practices, product recommendations, the new opportunities coming out, what's going to best benefit you as the supplier. And then it's a very just informal almost gathering to where we're just walking through this as a team together.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's a big one. And then kind of what I would recommend to kind of to do next. Us as the supplier advisors will be reaching out. Once the new media kit comes out, it's a better time of the year to plan. Some people's summers are coming in, especially, my wife's a teacher, so she's getting ready to go back to school.
Mhm.
So I think about it from that aspect. But yeah, just overall, reach out, do an account review, get them to walk through some of your product stats, see where things are going, get the new what's new for the year coming up, if you're having any new releases. So like the more information, the better, just because we can efficiently plan, with you guys, for you guys
Right.
in the long run. But yeah, don't hesitate. Don't be nervous. It's being able to be a consultant for the suppliers I work with is where I very much thrive, and I just love it. I love being able to. It's just a lot of these people are family now, and
Yeah.
so I can legitimately say that for sure. So,
And I will say, just to plug, you only hear great things about our entire supplier sales team. You guys are all awesome. I can attest. So also for anybody listening, just like John said, if you don't know who yours is, reach out to him. He'll connect you to the right person, and know whoever you talk to, you're gonna have a great time with, and you're in great hands. That's for sure.
absolutely, yeah. So definitely, I hope everybody out there has a blessed rest of their week, and yeah, don't hesitate to reach out anytime.
Awesome. Thank you so much again, John, for joining me today. And to our listeners, thank you for joining on this week's episode of Promo Perspective. We will see you back next time.
All
Bye.
right, have a good one.